Hey guys, what's going on? Jeff here from Films at Home, and today I've got an odd looking package, so you know where that's from. Hey guys, so thanks for coming back to the channel. As promised, I'm back to my regular upload schedule here where I'm going to try to do at least 3 or 4 videos a week, if not more. And today I ordered something while I was on vacation and the package actually showed up just today, so I'm going to show it off to you guys as I unbox it. If you know this type of packaging, then you know that this is coming from hamiltonbook.com. Probably right now my favorite place to buy Blu-ray and 4K and all sorts of physical media. So let's check out what I got and maybe give you guys some inspiration to buy some titles from their site and get some really great deals. So here's the most satisfying part of the video. Love the packaging. I don't know why I love doing that and ripping right down the middle of their packaging each time. It's like super satisfying. So now we've got that open. Let's dump some stuff out here and we are good. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 6 titles. Total cost for this was $36.95. So their shipping is $4. So total I paid $32.95 for these 6 movies. So basically like $5 each is essentially what I paid. And then the shipping is $4. So 6 brand new Blu-rays for only $35. Pretty damn good deal, especially when you see what I've got here. So I'm really excited about this haul because it has some of my favorite movies and one of my favorite labels, I should say, that has since gone defunct. I think they're no longer around, but I haven't seen these in forever. They don't usually show up in stores. Hamilton Book must have got their hands on some overstock, and selling these for $5 a piece, like, you have no idea how good a deal that is. But before we start, I want to show off to you that I made a huge mistake. I bought Ronin from them for $6 and I totally already have this. I literally just bought it in an Arrow video sale like 2 weeks ago, and for some reason I thought that I missed this during the sale, and then when the package showed up today I said, oh my god, I already have that. That's the one I just bought. It was another title that I missed during that quick flash sale at Arrow Video. So I've got an extra copy of Ronin, so let me know in the comments if anybody wants to buy that. I'll let it go for basically cost to you, and I'll ship it out. So let me know. Otherwise, I'll probably throw it up on eBay and see if some collector wants it there. But these are the types of mistakes you make when you have such a large collection. Even though I bought this 2 weeks ago, I was on vacation, I wasn't thinking, and I went for it, and it was pretty dumb, so don't make that same mistake. Now, the rest of these movies, all 5 of these, and this is why I got so excited for this haul, because I got all 5 of these for literally $4.95 each, and they're from Draft House Films. Now, if you don't know Draft House, Alamo Draft House Theaters, they're all over the US, and they're like a very high-end cinema experience. This is what they like to tout themselves as. If you talk during their movies, they will kick you out. If your cell phone goes off during their movies, they'll kick you out. They do all sorts of like cool screenings. They have a bar. They're one of the original, like, they kind of started. Now AMC theaters have a bar and all this stuff, and everyone's kind of catching up to the premium theater experience, but Draft House is one of the first, and they're a super cool independently owned theater chain that I have always wanted to go to. So if you guys have one in your area, you probably know a lot more about Alamo Draft House than I do, but Draft House Films was their offshoot label, and they actually, for a pretty good period of time, were putting out some really exciting Blu-ray and DVD releases. And I was on their press list at one point. I covered some really cool titles. They got me in touch with directors of some of the movies. I was able to interview a director. I got a signed poster of a movie called The Tribe, which was entirely in sign language. It was a Russian-Ukrainian movie done in sign language. I interviewed the director. He sent me some stuff from the Ukraine, original posters and really cool things. So I made some really cool connections with them, and then they kind of fizzled out, and I haven't heard much about them since. And at this point, I think they're done for. Now, just because they're done for doesn't mean you can't still get their movies, and they put out a ton of great Blu-ray releases. Some of them include The Tribe, in The Invitation, which is a great horror movie thriller. If you haven't seen that, it's a slow burn, but it's excellent. They also put other stuff like Clown. The Act of Killing was another one. I have a bunch of these, so I have 5 titles from them here that I haven't seen anywhere on shelves that Hamilton Book actually had, and I knew I had to have them. So the first one is called The Dog, and bear with me because I haven't seen any of these, but I know about them and I've been wanting to see them, so that's why I picked them up. So it's called The Dog, and what this is, it's actually a documentary, and it is about the guy who inspired the movie Dog Day Afternoon with Al Pacino. This guy was kind of like out of his mind, and eventually in the 70s he tried to rob his Brooklyn bank to finance his lover's sex reassignment surgery. I mean, it's one of those like so weird it can't be true. It's incredibly strange, but he had multiple lovers, men and women. He was a soldier, an activist, big New Yorker, mama's boy, bank robber. This guy had all kinds of stuff going on, and he was the inspiration for Dog Day Afternoon, which is a great movie. And so this is kind of the documentary behind that actual true story, as ridiculous as it sounds. So this is the kind of stuff Draft House puts out, is like really cool documentaries and really cool narrative feature films that otherwise probably wouldn't have seen a release. So I'm really hoping they can come back at some point. The next one is another documentary, and it's called The Overnighters. I actually saw this at the Independent Film Festival in Boston, which, if you're in the Boston or New England area, is an excellent film festival that they hold, and they actually had a few of these movies that I picked up at the film festival. And this one's about it's kind of a tough story about unemployment in this small town in North Dakota, and there's this priest at a church, pastor, who kind of lets people stay overnight in the church when they're going through tough times. That's where we get the term the overnighters. And so a lot of them have like weird past, criminal pasts at some point. Some of them have done horrible things, but they're just looking to get their feet back under them and rebuild their lives. And so the pastor kind of gives them this place, and then the congregation kind of fights against it, and the city council, and he has to make a decision as to whether to continue this program where he takes people in or not. And it's a really interesting, like, truly American story. They call it a modern day Grapes of Wrath on the back. And I really want to see this again because it was excellent, and I haven't seen it in a while, and I think it probably hits home just about as hard now as it did back then with everything that's going on in the country. I think it's a really interesting documentary, another great movie from Draft House Films. Now this next one you may know if you are into documentaries at all. Another one from Draft House. This is Werner Herzog and Errol Morris present a film by Joshua Oppenheimer, and it's The Look of Silence. Now this is the companion documentary to The Act of Killing, which I talked about. I actually have on the shelf behind me here. And it is all about it's a companion piece. This covers the Indonesian genocide in 1965. It focuses on the youngest son, who's an optometrist of this family, who was a bunch of survivors of this genocide. Another genocide that was not covered by the media, and dives into sort of all the horrors, and he interviews people who were involved in it and survivors, and it's a great companion to The Act of Killing, The Look of Silence. This is an awesome documentary. It won a ton of awards. New York Times right on the front calls it a masterpiece. So again, like $5, it's really hard to go wrong at all. Now this next one's another one that I was at the film festival, but I didn't get a chance to see it a few years back. Draft House put it out, and it's a very interesting topic. This one's called The Final Member, and it's actually a documentary about the world's only penis museum. So there's a museum out there. I think it's in, where is the museum? Oh, it's in Iceland. It's in Iceland, and it literally it's a penis museum. It has the penises of every single mammal that's out there except for one, and that is humans. So this whole documentary kind of follows the curator and co-creator of the museum as he's basically trying to find someone who is willing to donate either after they've died, most hopefully God, hopefully after they've already died, but donate to the museum to fill his last missing gap of the human penis. So it's like one of those, it's one of those so absurd. Again, it's an absurd documentary, but this guy's whole lifelong obsession is to create this museum and get literally a mammalian member from everything from the field mouse to the sperm whale and everything in between, and he's looking for that holy grail, the human. So super interesting documentary. It's a kind of funny, goofy topic, let's be honest, but that's the kind of thing Draft House puts out, and I knew I had to have it. Now this last one is called The Congress, and this is a super interesting movie, very futuristic, but it's almost like, it's almost like a true story, because Robin Wright in this movie is playing a version of herself. And what the movie's about, I haven't seen it, but this is why I was so interested in it. More than 2 decades after catapulting to stardom with The Princess Bride, Robin Wright decides to take her final job, preserving her digital likeness for a future Hollywood. So she works with her agents and a studio and basically preserves her digital likeness so that studios and directors can use her in movies in the future. And then, it goes through all this different stuff and the compensation she receives, and then 20 years later, how her digital twin basically rises to stardom. It's a super interesting look at how movies are changing. If you think about things like where they're using Carrie Fisher and Princess Leia's likeness in movies like Rogue One and Grand Moff Tarkin in that movie, and how they're using, they're digitally inserting people that have died into movies or people that passed halfway through a movie. They'll digitally insert them into the movie. Back to the Future even did this with oh my God, why am I blanking on his name? Crispin Glover, where he didn't want to come back for the sequel, the second movie, so they digitally recreated him and he sued them and won. And this is going to be the future, right? You talk about things like deep fakes and technology like that basically allow you to create a very realistic looking version of somebody. And as technology advances, you're going to start to see some of these actors and actresses have their likenesses sold by their families so that they can star in a movie. You may see a movie 50 years from now that stars Clark Gable. You may see a Western 50 years from now that's starring John Wayne again because people want to see John Wayne back. You could see movies with Denzel Washington and Leonardo DiCaprio long after they've passed, and it's a crazy concept, and it's a really interesting topic to consider when it comes to movies in the industry. And it's also by Ari Folman, who is the director of Waltz with Bashir, which was, I believe, an Oscar-winning animated film. I think that won an Oscar, Waltz with Bashir. I may be thinking of the wrong movie, but I think he won an Oscar for something. So a great director, a super cool movie, and one, Harvey Keitel, Paul Giamatti, Danny Huston, John Hamm, and Robin Wright, a great cast. So those are the five Draft House Films movies that I picked up, and I do highly recommend you guys go to Hamilton Book and look for these titles. These are no joke going to be hard to find. These are going to be very hard to find in a few years because Draft House Films, as far as I know, isn't making them anymore. They used to have a club where you could get them and buy them monthly. All of that's not happening as far as I know. You may still be able to buy them in person at a Draft House cinema, but I don't know when the last time I saw these was, and I got so excited when I saw Draft House Films titles on Hamilton Book. And for $5, don't be surprised if you literally never see these hit Blu-ray again, any of these movies. You may never see it again, and if they don't, these titles are going to be out of print and super pricey on eBay. So if you're at all a fan of documentaries, especially, and kind of quirky, weird documentaries, like, the Dog Day Afternoon one is strange, the Final Member is certainly strange, and then The Look of Silence and The Overnighters are both pretty serious, dramatic topics. But if you like documentaries, these are great. You need to go pick these up. So I will leave a link again to hamiltonbook.com. Highly recommend you go get those before they sell out. It's a great deal. I paid $20, $25 for my Draft House Films new versions when these first were released. And I didn't get these ones obviously, but other Draft House Films movies. So $5 is a steal. So that's it for this video. Just wanted to let you guys know about that sale and that you can grab these. I apologize I couldn't let you know earlier because I was on vacation, but the package showed up today. It shipped in a couple days, and so they're still available. They still should be for a little bit. Go grab them, highly recommend it, and hopefully you all can get a copy of at least a few of these because there's some really interesting stories to tell. Also have that copy of Ronin, so if you're interested, just send me a message or shoot me an email through my About channel or find me on Instagram, whatever you want to do. I'll give it a couple days, otherwise that's going to go up on eBay because duh, I don't need it. I'm such an idiot buying that again, but whatever, it was worth it to get all the Draft House stuff, so I don't have any complaints. I would have easily paid $10 or $15 for each of these, so getting them for $5 and spending $5 on a movie I forgot I already had, not too bad a deal. So anyway, thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe and have your notifications on. Like this video and leave me a comment. Let's try to get to that 50,000 subscriber mark by the end of the year. I could use your help with it, so if you haven't yet, please do that, and make sure you check out all the other links to Hamilton Book, to my Instagram, and other ways you can help support the channel. I really appreciate all of you watching and all the support lately. It's been overwhelming and really exciting to see where this channel can go, so please keep it up, keep sharing the videos, and I will definitely keep creating content. But anyways, thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you guys soon.